And then there's this 2022 PSA for an organization called Preventing Sexual Violence in Conflict.
The assault of men and women in front of their families, the gang rape of children. We meet and discuss these horrors and agree that they should never be allowed to happen again.
But of course it did happen again on October 7th, and it's been proven, even the New York Times, finally. Investigation that came out just before the new year, quote, "At the attacks against women were not isolated events, but part of a broader pattern of gender-based violence on October 7th, relying on video footage, photographs, GPS data from mobile phones, and interviews with more than 150 people, including witnesses, medical personnel, soldiers, and rape counselors. The Times identified at least 7 locations where Israeli women and girls appear to have been sexually assaulted or mutilated." So you would think that Jolie would be using her voice again, right, front and center, since Hamas did just that, weaponized rape, assault, and brutality. The very types of atrocities you've heard Jolie describe, and yet nothing from her apart from criticism of Israel. From an interview with the Wall Street Journal, it was released on December the 5th, the only mention of the issue in Israel came when the article claimed, quote, "Her social media presence heavily features her humanitarian work and commentary on current events such as the Israel-Hamas war." She basically only has an Instagram account. On October the 28th, 3 weeks after the massacre, Jolie posted a statement that starts out seemingly expressing sympathy for Israeli victims. "I've spent the last weeks sick and angry at the terrorist attack in Israel, the death of so many innocent civilians, and wondering how best to help." Well, how best to help? She seems to have figured that out in the past. But here she doesn't want to speak out, it seems, on behalf of the raped women. Quote, "My focus is on the people displaced by violence in any context. Gaza has a population of over 2 million people who've lived under severe blockade for nearly 2 decades. Then on December 22nd, well after the world was made aware of Hamas's mass rape of civilian women, she refused to acknowledge it and instead just criticized Israel."
The world is not, these are human rights. It is, these are human rights sometimes for these people, maybe sometimes for these people, never for these people. Accountability for this crime, but not that crime if there's business interest.
Business interest, right? You can't pick an important cause like using rape as a tool of war and then only be outraged in certain cases and not in others. She can't decide to just ignore the Israeli women. Rape is rape as a tool of war. This is exactly what she's doing. Now, earlier, I spoke to Moran Atias, a well-known Israeli actress who made an appeal to Angelina Jolie on Instagram and has been outspoken about Hamas's rapes of Israeli women. So what do you make of Angelina Jolie's comments in the past, what she's saying now? You've been outspoken about this.
Yeah, I, like many people around the world, have appreciated and respected Angelina Jolie's efforts throughout the many years she's been involved for humanitarian rights, and especially women from all regions, for Afghani women, Syrian women, Iranian women, as you showed. And yes, of course I was disappointed, and of course I was hurt and encouraged. It felt like I needed to feel more unsafe. I feel more unsafe with these voices that are being heard around the world. But instead of joining the cancel culture, I don't want to call her out. I want to call Angelina Jolie in. I want to invite her to visit Israel. I want to invite her to come to Be'eri, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Nir Oz, Kfar Aza, Eilat, Tel Aviv, everywhere where an Israeli woman, not just Jewish, but every Israeli woman feels unsafe. I invite her to come to meet with the experts that have medicated and treat girls that came back from captivity, that they've been tested for pregnancy. I want her to meet with the mothers and fathers that are still waiting for their return, sons and brothers and sisters from captivity for 91 days. I want her to meet the experts that are now building the biggest sexual assault case in history. Attorney Kochav El-Kayam and Me Too, Unless You're a Jew, are working tirelessly to make these requests heard, and also get the people that actually their job to defend all women is the UN Women. The UN Women organization is actually, their job is to defend all women. I mean, Angelina Jolie is a celebrity, and she chose to tell one side of the story, which makes me feel scared, to be honest, because when you make that kind of narrative and you don't include and you ignore another side, you only make us more separated. And I'm looking for a world that is more united.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.